So the question is, why were these economic leaders in the greater Tucson area focused on these amenities? It sounds like something tree huggers or crazy environmentalists would be concerned about, quality of life and all those sorts of funny, squishy things. The answer is that for a half century, economists, in trying to puzzle out why certain areas in the United States were growing faster than the rest of the United States, and why some areas with substantial natural resources and manufacturing base were in decline. In particular, what got these economists' attention was the desert Southwest, Southern California, and Arizona. This was in the 1950s. They were trying to figure out why the growth in Arizona and Southern California. There was no export-oriented activity that could explain it. The same was true in Florida. The same was true in the Pacific Northwest. There were these areas growing when the traditional economic base was not growing. And the explanation they came up with, and economists have been, economic development experts, people worried about economic vitality in communities, have been emphasizing in an increasing way ever since, is that the attractiveness of an area as a place, as I said before, to live, work, and do business is incredibly important in attracting economic activity. Now, there's 4 different ways in which the attractiveness of an area to people and to businesses matter. First of all, people care where they live. Hopefully people agree with that statement. I mean, after all, we care whether we get a hamburger from Burger King or McDonald's. Some people don't want burgers, they want chicken McNuggets. We care what color our trousers are. You know, we care what color stripes we have on our ties. We care about whole lots of things, and those preferences, what we like and what we don't like, is what drives a market economy. Those preferences matter. They have economic impacts. We spend money based on those preferences, or we don't. If we have preferences for those sort of trivial things, what color are your underwear? Are they shorts or boxers? If we care about that and the economy expands, certainly we care where we live and where we raise our families. And that those preferences, it's not that that's the only preference or that's the only thing that drives the economy, but it matters. And it has an impact on economic activity. One of the reasons it has an impact on economic activity is that firms care where workers live. There's not a sizable firm relocating anywhere that doesn't ask what's the character and quality and sufficiency of the labor force in this area. Or if it's not enough of the type of workers I need, will I be able to get those workers to come here without paying them battle wages, without paying them a premium to lure them to come here? So the attractiveness of an area to workers determines what a firm has to pay in order to obtain the workforce that they want. As I've said several times over the last 2 days, now I'm forgetting his name, Bill Gates, has stayed located in the Puget Sound area, has not franchised out all over the country, has stayed located there for the simple reason that he knows, Washington, remember, was one of those areas, like Arizona and Florida, where economists noticed that attractiveness was drawing people and businesses. Bill Gates knows he can get all of the high-tech knowledge workers he wants to come to the Puget Sound area and work for him while paying them less than they earn in the Silicon Valley. He knows he's got a huge workforce pool of people to draw on. People are attracted to the area. He's sitting pretty, being able to pay significantly lower wages than would have to be paid in California to get the same quality workforce. So businesses care where workers are, where they prefer to be, because that determines what their labor costs are going to be. In addition, workers moving, and that's the story of Florida, Arizona, Southern California, the act of people, households moving to an area, bringing their savings, bringing the capital gains or equity gains that they got when they sold their house in a different area, and trying to set up shop in a new area stimulates the economy. Empirical studies indicate that it can have an impact of generating almost another job. So it's almost self-sustaining as a result of those efforts of people and the commitment of funds to try and live in a new area. Some of the people acting on their preferences have footloose income and aren't worried all that much about labor markets anymore because they're retired. It's the wealthiest generation of retirees this nation has ever faced. Their income travels with them as they make decisions. They don't take other jobs or fill other jobs if they're fully retired. When they move into an area, they bring that income with them, stimulating the economy. Where they choose to live can have a significant impact in terms of the income circulating in the local economy. Finally, there's the visitor economy. I put that in the end. It gets the friends of mine that are in the tourist industry mad at me. But I'm skeptical of industrial grade tourism, tourism on a scale of a character that inundates our communities, that congests our restaurants and our parks and our natural areas. I think we have to be very careful, and I think that the travel industry in the Tucson area agrees with me 100% on this. We want to be going after a type of travel economy that does not threaten the unique characteristics, cultural characteristics, natural characteristics of the area. But people's preferences impact for where they would like to live. It's not the only thing that drives the economy, but has an impact on local economies, local economic vitality for all of those reasons. And that's the reason economic development people in the Tucson area and most other major cities in the United States that are worried about economic development issues are focused on how attractive their location is to people and to businesses. Finally, one reason for focusing on amenities is that the traditional export view of the economy, the cattle, cotton, and copper view of what makes the Arizona economy tick, for instance, just doesn't work. It just factually can't explain what we've experienced. Next slide. This is just looking at Pima County, looking at traditional export-oriented activities, all of agriculture, all of mining, all of manufacturing, and the military bases over the last 25 years. And what you see is almost a perfectly flat line, actually a slight loss of jobs. That's what was going on in cattle, cotton, copper, and a lot of other manufacturing. Meanwhile, the rest of the economy added 370,000 jobs. Now, that may not enthrall you. You may think that you already have more people than the area can cope with. But in terms of economic vitality, in terms of explaining what was going on, we can't just focus on these traditional export-oriented sectors. We have to be looking at other things, and that's why economists have been doing this for the last 50 years. What this is focused on, down at the bottom here, just so you can look at the export sectors, again, manufacturing, mining, agriculture, and military, but this time I'm looking at it in terms of dollars being received. Wages and salaries rather than number of jobs. And notice that from that point of view, even though the jobs are flat, because of the pay levels and rising pay levels, there was some growth. It could be flat for a period, declining for a period, some growth, and then flat for a period. So I just have that